Hello students, I welcome you all once again, and in this class I am going to continue the speech delivered by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at IIT Hyderabad in 2011. Friends, so far we talked about two important sections from this speech. One, the three visions that APJ Abdul Kalam had for India, and second, four different milestones in the career of APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, we have a very clear idea that of the entire speech and the kind of ideology which has been adopted by APJ Abdul Kalam. So far, he talked about himself, his own vision for the development of the nation, and similarly, he also talked about the different stages in his life that gave him ample opportunity to grow in the course of time. Now, in the subsequent section in his speech, APJ Abdul Kalam raised a few questions. What are these questions? These are the questions related to our day-to-day life and approach of the Indian people. The first question which is raised by APJ Abdul Kalam is about the attitude and the aptitude adopted by Indian media. The first question that you happen to read in the text is, why is the media here in the sense in India, so negative, very negative? I think we can correlate this particular question with the current affairs in the country. As you know, the whole world is severely affected by COVID-19, that is corona pandemic. India is also one of the largest sufferers, I would say. But Indian media for the past one and a half month or so constantly focusing on one particular incident which happened before a month or so. In fact, there are several very positive things which have been taking place in our country, but instead of focusing on the positive aspect of the development of our country, media has constantly focused on one particular incident in the country. And this is what is going on even presently, right now. You open any television channel, especially I'm talking about the electronic media, it will show you only one incident which took place before a month or so, and constantly the discussions are going on with no time limits. Probably APJ Abdul Kalam might have noticed the same thing in his life, and that's why he said, why the Indian media is so negative? Why are we in India so embarrassed to recognize our own strength and our achievements? Our media mainly focuses on the negative aspects of life than focusing on our strength, our achievements, and spreading up a positive message among the audience or the readers so that our mindset, audience mindset or readers mindset will be positive. So the question raised by APJ Abdul Kalam is about the Indian media, and he is raising the question by saying why the Indian media is so negative in its approach. In fact, India is a great nation. We have the amazing success stories, but they refuse to acknowledge them and constantly talk about the negatives which are happening around us. To quote APJ Abdul Kalam, he mentioned it in his speech that India stands first in the production of milk. We are number one in remote sensing satellites. India is the second largest in wheat production. We are also standing second in rice production. There is a great personality from Karnataka by name Dr. Hanumappa Sudarshan, who has transformed a tribal village into a self-sustaining unit. But our media focuses on these achievements and success stories for a least period of time and focuses on the negatives of our life much more. APJ Abdul Kalam says, our media is only obsessed to the bad news, failures, disasters, terrorist attacks, rape cases, criminal activities, so on and so on. In fact, the media is supposed to play a very positive and constructive role, as we could see in the foreign land. There are a few developed countries, and apart from that, there are a few other countries also where the media plays a very crucial role in order to make the country a grand success, and they talk about the success stories of the people of the nation. Here, APJ Abdul Kalam talks about one of the personal experiences that he had when he visited Israel. He was in Tel Aviv reading an Israeli newspaper, but unfortunately, Hamas had struck Israel. A lot of attack and bombardings took place. A number of casualties also took place. But the next day, Israeli newspaper did not highlight the strike by Hamas. Moreover, Israeli newspaper had a picture on the very front page, that of a Jewish gentleman who transformed his desert land into an orchard and a granary in just 5 years. Actually, it was an inspiring picture. The Israeli media gave minimum importance to the strike by Hamas. They did not make an attempt to discourage the Israeli people. On the contrary, the Israeli media or a newspaper highlighted the gentleman on the front page and proved that when a single person can convert or transform his desert land into an orchard, then why can't others too? This is the positive message which is conveyed by the Israeli media. But how far the positive contributions are taken into consideration by Indian media, that is always questionable. In the subsequent section, APJ Abdul Kalam talks about our media. See, these are not my opinions. This is the opinion expressed by APJ Abdul Kalam. In the text, you can find this kind of expression very clearly made over there. APJ Abdul Kalam says, our media gives a gory details of killings, bombardments, deaths, etc., etc. What do we read more in the newspaper? We read about deaths, sickness, crime, attack. Whenever APJ Abdul Kalam opens any TV channel, especially a news network, or happens to open any newspaper, he questions himself also, why is the Indian media so negative in its approach? Why are we as a nation so obsessed with negativism only? But mind it well, APJ Abdul Kalam expressed his vision over here also that media should parallelly go with the democracy, showing the positives in their expressions so that a right message will be conveyed and communicated among the people of the country. But is it happening? Situation remains the same, no change at all. And if at all, one particular media channel or a newspaper does something good, probably so many assaults are taking place. So this is how is the real scenario that APJ Abdul Kalam is talking about. Now in the subsequent section, APJ Abdul Kalam addresses an interesting aspect of our life, everybody's life, whether it is your life or my life, whatever. He raises another question. What is that question? Why are we as a nation so obsessed with foreign things? We want foreign television, imported shirt, imported technology. We want everything made and manufactured abroad. Why? Even a student who is using a pen wanted an imported pen. A teacher using various accessories wanted the imported accessories. And this is the basic fundamental question which is raised by APJ Abdul Kalam. He says, why are we so obsessed with foreign things? In fact, in India itself, we have so many things produced and manufactured here which are really having certain utility value. But we carry a different impression in mind. We want to show off that I am using imported products. Why this obsession with everything imported? Why do we not realize that self-respect comes with self-reliance? If you really have the self-respect, when you respect yourself, you cannot respect yourself until and unless you are self-reliant, self-sufficient, self-dependent. When you are buying imported products, the profit goes abroad. When you buy something, the manpower which is required for the production of something, some product, Indians are not getting the employment because it is manufactured and produced outside the country. The outsider gets benefit. So here we need to look at the roots also in order to understand the problem. And until and unless we really want to make our country as a self-reliant country, first of all, we have to change our mode of expenditure. When we spend more on the imported things, obviously, profit will go abroad. Indian companies won't come up. Indian corporations won't flourish. And we will continue to be either as a poor country or else as a developing country. So self-respect comes with self-reliance. So this thing you need to understand, and you need to, get rid of that obsession for the imported things and imported products. When this speech was being delivered, maybe after the lecture or somewhere else, there is one experience presented by or narrated by APJ Abdul Kalam. He says, once in Hyderabad, he was delivering a lecture, maybe somewhere else, and a girl who was just at the age of 14 or so requested APJ Abdul Kalam for his autograph. So APJ Abdul Kalam was very curious to find out why this 14 years old girl wants his autograph. Why? Of course, he was a very reputed scientist, the missile man of India, immensely contributed for the building of the nation, no doubt. Great name and fame. And that's why the girl might be willing to have his autograph. But just out of curiosity, APJ Abdul Kalam asked a question to the girl, why exactly she wants the autograph. And another important question asked by APJ Abdul Kalam was, what is her goal in life? See, the question was asked to 14-year-old girl by APJ Abdul Kalam. And what was the question? What is the goal of the particular girl in life? The girl also replied immediately, without a second thought in mind, and she replied that, I want to live in a developed India. See how beautifully and effectively she expressed her vision for the nation. Probably both were sailing in the same boat. APJ Abdul Kalam also had a vision to see India as a developed country. And this girl, just a 14-year-old girl, also wanted to see India as a developed country. I quote APJ Abdul Kalam here. Kalam says, for her, you and I will have to build this developed India. You must proclaim that India is not an underdeveloped nation. It is a highly developed nation. You know, if you think of yourself that you don't know anything, you will carry on with the same impression throughout your life that you don't know anything. You have to identify the potential within yourself. You should know what kind of talent that you have in your own personality, in your own self. And this is what the author is trying to convince you. He says, at least for the girl who is just at the age of 14, you and I will have to build this country as a developed country. You must proclaim that. We should make the announcement of it that yes, I will contribute from my end to make the country developed one. It is not, according to APJ Abdul Kalam, India is not an underdeveloped country. It is a highly developed nation. So this is how he promoted his ideas in this particular section. In the next section in the lesson, APJ Abdul Kalam asks the audience whether we, the readers or the audience, could spare 10 minutes for the nation. How much time he is expecting from all of us? Even from you and me. How much time? Only 10 minutes. And now, in the span of his 10 minutes or so, he talked about so many issues, so many aspects of our survival. You know, we the Indians have developed that attitude, and we have that tendency also. We always say, it is not a case with you in particular or I in particular. Every Indian, you say that our government is inefficient. You say that our laws are too old. You say that municipality does not pick up the garbage. You say that phone doesn't work. You say that railways are a joke. You say that the Indian Airlines is the worst in the world. You say that postal system never works properly. No mails ever reach to its destination. You say, continue to say for long. But now, APJ Abdul Kalam is asking you first. The difference between you in India and the same you abroad. How is the difference? When you go to any public place, your demeanor, your behavior is different. When you happen to be there in a very sophisticated atmosphere, when you are observed by the closed circuit cameras, your behavior is different. When you are at home, your attitude is again different. What is this all about? You know, in this context, APJ Abdul Kalam has compared an Indian individual. It is the same you when you are in India and when you are abroad. Suppose you happen to go to Singapore. You don't throw anything on the road. But what do we do in India? You eat a chocolate and throw the wrapper on the roadside. Okay, you drink a coconut and you throw away the coconut shell anywhere, wherever you want. But do you do the same thing after going abroad, especially to the developed countries? When you want to pass through the Orchard Road, you very happily pay $5 bill. But do you do the same thing at the toll gate in India? You keep, creating some or the other scene over there and unnecessarily get involved into the conflict with the people. When you go abroad, you pay the parking fees very happily. But you want a free of cost parking in India. You don't dare to eat in public places in Dubai during the Ramzan. You don't dare to bribe any employee in London or Great Britain. But in India, it has become a kind of system that unless you offer, no job is done, no task is really getting completed. You don't even speed up your car beyond 88 kilometers per hour in Washington. But here, your bike or even your car, even on the highways or the small ways or the state ways, you are in such a hurry that you continue to extend your limits and you don't bother for the law. You don't show off your impression to a traffic police abroad in America, Europe, or Arabian countries. This way, you behave. Don't chunk up an empty coconut shell anywhere in Australia or New Zealand. But in India, you throw anything anywhere, you don't bother. You don't buy a fake certificate or a degree in Boston. But in India, it's a bricks business. Now you ask this question to yourself. You are the same. The way you behave in India and the way you behave in abroad or a foreign land. You should respect the system everywhere. But you see, the typical Indian tendency, we respect the system abroad, but we don't respect the system in India. APJ Abdul Kalam says, you respect the system and law in the foreign land, but in India, you behave opposite to it. Then now, think of yourself. The moment you come back from a foreign land, your behavior changes and you start spoiling our airport. You start spoiling our roadways. You start doing or behaving however you really want. Is this really expected from a good citizen? Everybody is a citizen of this country. Is it really expected from a learned person? No. But we do it. Unfortunately, all these things we do it in India, and that's why, we find the dirt and other things everywhere. In this respect, one example is quoted by APJ Abdul Kalam. Once in an interview, an ex-municipal commissioner of Mumbai, Mr. Tinaikar, had a point to make. I quote Mr. Tinaikar here. Rich people's dogs are walked on the streets to leave their affluent droppings all over the place. And the same people turn around to criticize and blame the authorities for inefficiency and dirty pavements. What do they expect the officers to do? They want us to go down with broom every time their dog feels the pressure in his bowels. On the contrary, in America, every dog owner has to clean up after his pet has done the job. Same in Japan and other developed countries. Will the Indian citizen do the same in India?